Okay, so things to know right now, and we are so pleased and proud and privileged to be bringing this information to you, and especially right now. The pro staff has really stepped up to the plate. We are all very busy with our new and different ports, some in the office, some not. What's really exciting today is to be bringing you something about deep brain stimulation. Now, some of you, if you're new to the Parkinson's world, never have heard of this before. We refer to it as DBS, which is deep brain stimulation. And today we have someone with us that can answer some of the questions that have happened since the coronavirus has blossomed. And so I'm really, really proud to be bringing to you Andrew Imbus, who is a physician's assistant at Kaiser Permanente Sunset, which is a huge Kaiser Permanente hospital in the Los Angeles area, and where the DBS surgeries get done. Correct me if I'm wrong when you get your chance, Andrew, but I think that that's where they take most, if not all, of the DBS surgeries. So Andrew, welcome aboard, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so in this current crisis, some of the questions that are coming in that we've worked on answering them our way, and now we're going to answer them online and your way. So one of them is as follows. This is a gentleman who just recently had deep brain stimulation, and he says, my DBS has made me feel better in some ways, but my tremor hasn't subsided, and I can't tolerate the high voltages. What's my next step?
Oh, Joe, I think that's an excellent question. There are several steps to be done, and of course, the first one is to letting your neurology provider know. There are multiple settings with each DBS system, and with each setting, there comes a variety of other options. So when your voltages are too high, sometimes those are more tolerable if we can adjust some of the other settings. For example, as our voltages or amplitude increases, or the energy increases, if we can decrease some of the other ones, such as a pulse width or the hertz, oftentimes those negative effects of the high voltages are oftentimes muted. So there are multiple options, and even changing up the contact settings. But typically, these are all differences that need to, unfortunately, be done in the presence of your physician to make the right choice.
And I think if some of that sounded Greek to anybody, as we get through this interview process today, we'll be sending them to the Wellness Village on our website, where they can access some further information and get some of this explained to them. So, ready for the next one?
Yes, please.
This one might fall into the same area. How do I charge my battery, or am I supposed to charge it frequently? Now, I think, before we go here, Andrew, I'm gonna take some of the questions we may have thought about later down the line. Some people don't realize that there are at least 3 systems available to them in deep brain stimulation, and those systems are not all the same. So can you give us a little understanding of what is available? And just in the last remarks, you said changing these different areas. What if they have a system in place where there's only one electrode with one signal point? So the question, I guess, first is, there's more than one system? If so, how many are there?
There are currently 3 systems on the market. Now, each system comes from one of 3 different companies. Now, there is Medtronic, there is St. Jude Abbott, and there is Boston Scientific. And each company makes more than one DBS battery or computer. And each one of those comes with certain benefits that others may not have. So by adjusting some items on one, that may be an available item per DBS, but may not be found on a separate system.
And the reason I wanted that answer is because I know the person that asked that question, and I know the device that they have, and they don't have too many options.
Now, each device should allow you the energy to come onto a wire that is brought into the brain, into very specific nuclei. Now, each wire itself comes with a variety of contact points, typically more than just one. Usually it's 4. So each individual contact is able to be stimulated, or one can be stimulated to a certain degree in respect to the one above it or 2 above it, etc. So there are a variety of options available, but it is very dependent upon the system that is chosen.
Okay. So that now we'll go back to that original or this question I asked, should I be charging my battery, or how frequently am I supposed to charge it? I don't know which device they have, if they have a rechargeable battery or a static battery. So can you address that?
Of course. There are 2 types of batteries, those that are rechargeable and those that are non-rechargeable. So those that are non-rechargeable, you can't recharge. My dad oftentimes tries to recharge Energizer batteries that are non-rechargeable, and I'm always worried that the house is going to catch on fire. So those are not able to be recharged. However, the non-rechargeables should last you typically anywhere between 3 to 6 years, depending on how much the energy you're using. The rechargeable batteries should last you 10, 15 years or even further. Now, you do need to charge those daily to every few days. A lot depends on the amount of energy use that you need. I think one of the main issues that I've run into in the past is people accidentally letting their rechargeable battery run dry. And when that happens, sometimes it takes the rep to a little bit of time to try and either recharge it or to get it working again. But during that time period, you're going to be turned off. So you never want it to run totally exhausted or dry at that time. Now, when you travel, it's very important that you bring the recharging equipment with you. Even if you're staying somewhere for just an extended period of time, I think in today's day and age,
yeah, not too much going on in traveling today, but even if they were going to go for an overnight to a parent's, grandparents, or whatever house, so carry on.
You just don't want to be caught off guard and caught without the equipment to charge your battery.
Terrific. Okay, now we go to the next one. I'm scheduled for programming, but I'm afraid to go to the doctor's office. Can I be programmed in some other way? I mean, we watch this in in the cardiac area. They can do it over the telephone. Are we there?
We will be there soon. Now, with that being said, there are still some options available to you. Now, unfortunately, they oftentimes have to be started with you seeing your neurology provider. Now, those options allow you to use your patient controller. All the systems out there have a patient controller that allows you to make some sort of adjustment to your battery or to the voltage or amplitude that's being delivered. Now, with that being said, you do have to see the neurologist or neuro provider that will open up that window for you to be able to do that. So the answer is yes and no, and more is coming. We soon will be caught up to cardiology, and hopefully we'll be able to do a lot of this through the cloud, on the internet, etc., and be able to hopefully address a lot of the symptoms and a lot of the probably the setting manipulations online or via the telephone.
I would tell you, Andrew, it's impressive to me. In 30 years, I've watched a lot of growth in our community. It's really been in the last 5 years, maybe 6 years, that deep brain stimulation has made such tremendous strides going forward in this technology. It's better than I've ever seen it before, and I'm so proud and pleased that we have this to offer to our constituents. So go ahead.
It's a very exciting time.
Yes. So now we'll go to a couple that lives in middle California who said, our appointment is scheduled for the first part of April. We've waited for this, what seems to be forever. Is this still considered an elective surgery?
So I'm going to assume that this question is referring to the initial surgery of putting in the entire system as opposed to a battery replacement of a
Yes.
non-replaceable
This is
extension.
Brent. They're excited to just get started. Initial surgery.
I hate to do this to you, Joe. A lot of these answers are yes and no. This is classically considered to be an elective surgery. And in medical speak, what do we mean by elective surgery? We refer to elective surgeries as those surgeries that are not going to save your life imminently. So currently, under this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, a lot of the major medical systems in the area have shut down with regards to elective surgeries. So unfortunately, yes, but don't take the elective surgery term as a negative term or trying to mute the effectiveness of the DVS. That's not it at all. They're saving a lot of the emergency room and OR room and OR time and critical care beds for those patients who need imminent life-saving interventions. So unfortunately, yes and no. There are certain instances when they may consider that your dystonia or your Parkinsonian dystonia is so bad that it could potentially be life
altering, yeah.
Well, not just life altering, but almost life saving and almost limb saving as well. And so if that is a consideration, there's always room for discussion on that and to see if you would be part of that exception to the rule.
Okay. All right. So this is the answer to the next question. I think we kind of covered in one sense earlier on because I turned the conversation because of that. They said, I had to take the device that they had in store. I thought you said that there were at least 3 devices. How can I get my surgeon to use the device I've chosen rather than the one that he said he has in store?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the first and foremost is to have that open line of communication with your neurologist and your surgeon. It is your body, and you certainly have a right to choose what devices are placed inside your body, no question. However, also in consideration, I think, would be what is your neurology provider most comfortable in programming with? Each of the 3 systems comes with a different platform, very much like you would have an Android telephone as opposed to an iPhone. So there's a lot of nuances and differences between the different systems. And I think that not only is it what do you feel most comfortable with, but also what do your providers think would be best for you? Not all systems are going to be the same, and not all shoes fit the same feet. So choosing what works best for you, I think, is a thing to be best discussed between the neurologist as well as the surgeon.
And I also think that perhaps I think we lost you there for just a second, Andrew, but I think that the constituent, the member, needs to understand the difference between the 3 systems so that they can make an educated decision on which system they really want or don't want, because that's certainly it can be done. I'm going to ask you one more question. There are a couple of others that we could ask, but I'm going to ask you one more because we're going to run out of time, and then we'll circle back down the way and we'll get some of the other questions answered. So my next question is, well, no, I'm going to leave the one about medication until we circle back. Is there anything in particular that's coming your way right now, Andrew, with the coronavirus being here that you think should be addressed today?
Well, I think a lot of the symptoms that people are able to be addressed by deep brain stimulation. However, there are some that are not. And understanding that we will do our best to try and keep the lines of communication open, at least from the medical standpoint, to do all that we can without you having to leave the home, I think is imperative. And knowing that maybe during this time in which some of us are quarantined, some of us are socially distancing ourselves, I think it's important to be patient. And I think it's very important to have an open mind and understand that we'll do our best with adjusting your medications. And maybe that is going to be the best answer for the moment. And then as this passes, as we all hope that it shall soon, we'll get you back, and we'll be more than happy to bring you back down on the medication, and hopefully even just maybe some adjustments to the DBS, and hopefully that will take care of all the symptoms. But I think the trick is to be patient.
Patience, absolutely. But right now we just have to take this time, utilize it to the greatest extent possible, make ourselves as efficient as possible, and look forward to the future, because the future is out there, and so we need to plan for it and understand where we're headed. So I want to thank you so much today, Andrew. I cannot tell you how important it was for us to get these questions answered for our people. For those of you who are listening and watching, the office phone line at Parkinson's Resource Organization works if you're feeling isolated or you're feeling like you need some attention. Please give us a call. Someone will pick up that phone, or someone will get back to you shortly. So know that we're here to support you, to take you through the coronavirus anxieties, and to be by your side. So Andrew Imbus, I'm so grateful to have met you online like this. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you for the opportunity.
See you later.
Bye-bye.